stands for, but it matters not, as we have Haven in front of us.
I always keep thinking of like NCIS. Like they're going to be investigating.
I know.
Right?
It makes the most sense, yeah. Which, by the way, NCIS stands for what? Northern...
No, I don't know.
Oh, man, see, both acronyms we don't know.
And that's okay. We'll come up with our own acronym halfway through the game. We always do that.
You know what? You're so right. I'm gonna think that actually, what? No, I got it.
Oh.
It stands for.
I'm ready.
Why is it not on their Twitter? I'm so tired. Are you joking?
That's okay. I'm sure we'll find out one time or another, though. But let's talk about the agent compositions here.
Sure.
Nothing really too wild across the board, but we did mention in the pre-show that Noya was going to be rocking that Killjoy. I'm really interested in seeing how the anchoring potential can go once we swap over to the defense. The thing is, though, is that even though for pretty much every single one of these maps that we're seeing in this matchup, it's going to be version 1 on the attacking side. But that's not going to stop a player like Noya. She plays so aggressively as that Killjoy pick. And even if there are a few rounds where she goes for that flank watch, I'm still expecting to see a lot more impact than your typical Sentinel.
Never saw it coming. That's the name.
You know what? I never saw that coming.
I knew you were going to do that joke too. And I know I set you up for it as well. I'm still disappointed in you. That you both actively decided to go for it. It's okay. I'm sure I'll be actively decided even more, but we'll move past it. Currently, of course, NSIC and version 1 with NSIC on the defense. What I'm going to watch out for a lot is going to be, of course, the Killjoy setups that we have on NSIC side. Currently, version 1 is set up outside of A. But so on NSIC, so should be a bit of a rush into a lobby and see exactly that. A lot of people giving over. They all go against 1v1. Melty managed to only get one by the end of it though, but Floor taking 2 with some more youth, so some more shots traded as you go past a long, and that Killjoy setup will be null and void as it's just OD looking to get one more.
I mean, hey, Odorous had almost the entirety of Haven set up except for the one site that version 1 went for.
One more Odorous with the first clutch.
Okay. I did not expect Odorous to find a lineup like that. That entire round was entirely in version 1's favor up until that very last play from Odorous. That swipe there, that strafe, so good. I mean, the perfect lineup, had the read about where that spike plant was going to go down. But let's talk about the early round. That was a slaughter from version 1's end. They had the right read, and sure, NSIC did as well, but they weren't able to convert the gunfights. They had gone down, they were traded out so quickly, and version 1 going into this next round, they're not really going to change the tempo up anymore. They're going to continue on, but instead of a lobby, it's looking like maybe a bit more of a split push heading towards garage.
And I'm paying attention to this too because version 1 have invested up, right? That's the most key thing to notice. They've decided that, hey, that was a bit unfortunate. We did kind of stack up as 2, but stack up we shall know more. They're getting smoked out. They'll use a nade to clear out the side and walk in as a 3. But because there's of course there the swarm put out and all the util just dumped. But that might be exactly what they wanted, although they're still all together. They rule that as an option. Move in. OD gets 2. That's 3. Make that Odorous popping off. And version 1's push is now null and void.
A complete shutdown yet again. The same exact cause, but different parts of the round, Rav. Version 1, they had a slow start for that round, a little bit slower than we anticipated. But when they were inching towards the site, they got stalled out so quickly. And you know what the biggest piece of utility that NSIC have is? It's Odorous.
Yeah.
Just a human turret, just able to shut everybody down inside a garage. And it was a good start, but that was also a bit of a buy-up from version 1's end. So now we have light shields littering the roster, sure, and sheriffs to tow, but looking over at the other side, this defensive team, they have nothing but Spectres and pretty much a good bonus.
Well, hey, don't count all your chickens until they hatch because you don't know who's going to block until at the end. Flashes on side the nade, going back to the side, physics taken out. Oh, what a beautiful prowler as well. To make sure every single corner is now covered. No, yeah, watch the flank. And her getting taken away might be tough, so now they have to rectify their options, but guns being picked up will allow them to be put in a 4v1. Question will be, what can Sean do? Everybody's off site. He has a bulldog, but getting 40 here is going to be a very hard task.
Yeah, it's easier said than done right now. Only util right now for version 1 on site is a single Astra Star. All set up, waiting for that potential flank. No info at all what Sean is, but that fall line's going to give everything away.
That's going to be that G-Well, baby. You can easily just remove that. Oh, we're looking at least get 2 here. Nothing guns on their hands, if anything, but this is their loss. Well, this was their save, so version 1 will take this round handily with 3 staying alive, and we'll go in the next with pretty decent options in terms of some guns they can pick up, and some they saved.
Yeah, you really could ask for a better thrifty round coming out from version 1. They had, at best, light shields and a sheriff, again, at their arsenal now, but at least then they can buy up a little bit more utility. They have phantoms for Flora's End, which makes me a little nervous. Thor kind of juggling back and forth between the Phantom and Vandal. Again, keep in mind, high mechanical movement, either usually the Neon or the Rays play. I'm expecting to see a lot more blast packs to come through early on to really disrupt a lot of different things. Oh, but we just got word that there is a bit of a technical pause. I took off my comfy boy hoodie. So far, I mean, we had a bit of a disruption in that third round. It was a big thrifty round coming up from version 1 that I don't think you and I really expected to see.
No, not much right now, right? Because if we are to recount the first sort of 3 rounds that we have witnessed from V1 side, it's been okay.
Yeah. Considering
the first was somewhat unlucky. They were stuck in a 2v1. Of course, naturally aggressive start that we expect from both these sides, but Odorous to come out clutch the first, and eventually by the end the second as well, where they funneled into garage and gave him 3. And from there, the rounds kind of null and void, but they're coming back on what was effectively a save, using some more patience, if anything. And the one main note is all of NCIS getting cleared out on Seaside is tough. But hey, it's only 2-1 right now. We can't judge the round for anything. They finally have actual guns in their hand.
Well, the big win condition I noticed in that third round was that Odorous had been the opening pick. He had gone down so early in almost every, well, I guess the only other 2 rounds beforehand. He was that clutch factor to be the last one alive. So if Odorous continues to be targeted and discovered at the beginning of each of these rounds, I'm wondering if the gears are turning in version 1's head. If they target Odorous that early on, do you think then maybe the pendulum can start swinging in V1's attacking favor?
Well,
I don't know.
This right here might be why you're spitting, my friend. Because that's okay. All right. Maybe. Okay, because with Odorous, be quite nasty, and because the steps we mentioned before are going to be very important to stop the indomitable aggression that V1 has. Speaking of which, that it currently isn't present. But what we do have, though, is a setup from NSIC. They're setting up for the paranoia, too, to see if anybody did come in through A main. And there are 2 people there, so they can't get everybody as soon as they enter here, Max.
This op, it's going to be disrupted because of that Prowler. Suddenly now, NSIC, they have to back off. They have to give respect to the space.
Showstopper in, there should be paranoia as well, but it managed to get so many, but they don't push against it. But it should be more than enough. They get more than a space as the rest of version 1 get taken away. And now, finally, as you get blinded, it's just Big Bean. So we want looking to survive a couple of seconds. 2 more left. That's Jamel, the IGL. Mel has been clutch queen for so long, but up against an op, although no killjoy util and no spike in hand, this makes things increasingly difficult. 30 seconds left.
30 seconds
no
left.
Astra stars yet.
No spike at all for Mel either. Look at how much respect that NSIC are giving for the site. A single op holds all the different lanes. They know where the default plan for version 1 likely is for a site, and Empathy has a great angle towards it. But keep in mind the economy too. A single Vandal. This is one of the first few rifle rounds we've seen from version 1. But no saves can be opted here. Lockdown in tow.
No
An
time.
early lockdown.
Well, I mean, this was just once again the biggest stall tactic they had, because they noticed that Mel actually had rotated. She would have needed to fast rotate all the way towards somewhere like B or C, but they had both B and C covered, although the turret was out of range, but still more than enough. There's barely enough time, and thinking that she might have been running back to A if they may have rotated. A tough call to make, but one that works out very well in NSIC's favor.
It was an interesting call because more often than not, you don't see a round 4 Killjoy lockdown being used in a 2v1, but Odorous has already been able to gain so many quick ult points by just mowing down version 1 early on that it's almost kind of a confidence move, expecting to get that lockdown pretty quick afterwards. And speaks to what version 1 have been able to accomplish so far this match. They've only once have been, well, actually twice, have been able to get onto a site, spike in the ground. These slow rounds, a little uncharacteristic. They're banding together, playing slow. But this mid-round map control has been the most difficult part for the team, and Odorous is already prepped up and ready with a double contact out of Garage.
Big Killjoy changed the setup as well to what they were having the defense. Noticing, like recognizing that they were going to anticipate some more B aggression as of right now. The version 1 having much better buy. The same power that they use, managing to find one is nice. But through here, they're still setting themselves up by
that pressure.
Interesting. They should have saw the alarm bot, and there is also the Molly. So you're going to use that opportunity to likely go through from B to A. But look at the breach, the flash. They know that somebody's there. They're going to have to move so carefully and are very much at an effort, very much trying not to get pinched right now.
Look how separated everyone from NSIC are right now. Gunfights raining through. Sean, good for one. Fluorescent goes down, overextending, but everyone else on site. Now there's empathy on that flank. This is huge, completely undiscovered. Good for the knives. Eventually one connects.
Okay, that's just one though. Alexis locked in another gunfight. Two. Oh my god, the swing was beautiful from Alexis. It just leaves Sean last one left alive again. All they need is 2 version 1 with guns in their hands. Make the game one way from even.
It was a slow round from version 1, but that overextension towards that A connector worked out well. It provided enough anti-spacing that NSIC, despite already playing these kind of singular games where there's no tradability amongst anyone in the defense, they were able to play around that. Version 1, they group up and they play together strong. There's always that factor for tradability. And the sooner the NSIC recognize that, the better. But of course, as I say that, we're kind of deviating away from this into a more defaulty round. But there's always been that aggressive presence at the beginning from the defense. And we're seeing that again from Empathy.
So far up. That's a big dart there too. I think they could have probably tucked him in the corner. Decides instead to creep his way up. There isn't a util there to spot the flank besides the alarm bot that's there near main, but they know. They're going over. They're giving up at the site. They're going to allow themselves to enter in S5. A smokes their eye there. Nightfall prepared for their entry. There it is.
I love this play. Good to bring in. No Rolling Thunder from version 1's end, but keep in mind the counter Rolling Thunder could very well be used at any single moment. All it needs is that single spike plant. Off that audio cue, we should see the entirety of version 1 be disrupted on site, but the gunfights rain through. Melanoia good for each. And all its rep is on site.
One more shot taken away. I believe NSIC should try to cover, barely get out with their lives. Well, version 1, I should say, as they're the ones trying to trach it.
And
still
Noia
a couple of seconds, yeah, they're still fine. They can get on to A.
And Noia has lockdown.
Oh, won't need it. 3v1, and even putting up the extra astral wall for security. You were saying Rolling Thunder as a potential option, but not online just yet. So it will leave them with a secure plant, and once again 1v3 where Sean is the last one to enter. We've seen Odorous do this a couple rounds ago, but up against 3, he will have to find the absolute perfect time to move in. No flashes. That's 1 taken. That's 2 below. And oh my God, Sean!
Sean, my God. NSIC have been so good about the retakes on A side. Now, maybe I'm a little biased, but I think retaking A site, especially in a 1v3, might be one of the hardest things you can do in professional Valorant. But 2 rounds now, out of the few that we've seen so far this half, NSIC have been able to accomplish it. First with Odorous, then with Sean. Version 1, if they get countered on C site, they're forced to rotate into A. No matter what we've seen, Rap, despite the body advantage, it doesn't matter. A site has not worked out well for the team.
It's a couple of times it's been due to just losing too many in the entry, but I think that right there really do have to attribute to 1, just clever swings from Sean, 2, setting up the concusses that were there. Speaking of concusses, Floor is not concussed, gonna likely take
just barely
not
hiding.
even a single tick of damage, finding the perfect spot.
And look at this, the stack up outside A2. Mostly covering long, Owl Drone is there from physics side. Only a little bit of coverage outside of sewers. It's gonna lead to be a double contact. NSIC, they love to give up sight after a little while, but they're holding down A. They know this is where version 1 likes to end, and they've read that lockdown so well. So what's the call here from version 1? Are they gonna wait it out? Where's NSIC gonna go? Well, there's a few hidey holes.
I mean, usually you try to go in after the 2-second mark because you see, that's usually what teams pull out. But instead, they will take a much riskier play. Now, as they all look to enter, they find a couple of spots where there's barely enough corners to survive up in their hands 2v4. All they have to do is play patient and watch angles. One on top on heaven and one coming all the way from flank. But they're so deep. Odorous is going to have to make the cross-country trek to get there. And even if he does, he's likely looking for exits because on the other end, look at Big Bean. He's out of there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Odorous is setting up a new shop outside of the spawn. Just waiting for the exit at this point. I mean, if you're NSIC, you already have 2 rounds ahead. You're just looking for eco damage at this point.
For sure.
And version 1, playing true to the anti-caster's curse, able to take full control of A site. But that lockdown was so effective of just shutting down all those different placements that NSIC, well, they love to take advantage of. They're starting to play more of those gunfight routes in version 1, a little bit slower in the early game, but they're able to find a lot of map control. And one thing I've loved, Rav, is that version 1, when they gain that map control from what we've seen, they don't let go of it. There's never really been an opportunity where they've relinquished that control other than that full rotate we saw from C to A, and even then, that was still a super close call to winning a round.
At this point, though, version 1 once again playing this game on inches.
It's
we'll
close.
See for them, yeah, we'll see for them if that, transpires or moves towards meters or even kilometers. That's what's the right direction, but on the other end, big props to NSIC. Their defense so far has been just really clever, and the mechanics that they have in terms of shots they've displayed have been something to behold. As a reason why this is one of the most acclaimed free Asian squads, why XOR was such a phenomenal team, and now why NSIC even also holds and bolsters that prowess.
Oh, but that alarm bot's really tantalizing. That alarm bot gets tripped. Possibly a fall line from Sean right after from the upper areas of B connector. It all depends on which utility from Odorous gets triggered first. What different protocols could be employed.
From the Shadows use, so they see where version 1 is, and alongside the alarm bot as well, the concuss. She was at least looking for one tag and only finds the one on site. Oh, but a blind shot from Mel. Odorous gone, kills the util taken away. And NSIC are once again set up on the outside by spawn, looking for anything they can find. But in a game of hide and seek, it's not the hider who has to do the work. It's the seeker. It seems as though the seekers are only befalling their doom. Hey, they get 2 though, so they've done their job. Leaving Big Bean by himself to go up against 3. And if they line up for him perfectly, should be able to do it, but it's a cascading defense.
And 4-4. Remember, we talked about this in the pre-show. Version 1 is a team that's big on counter-stratting. If there's an opportunity for an enemy team to start reading into the plays that Version 1 brings out, it might not even be a tactical timeout that comes out, but Version 1 will kind of dial it back, they'll rethink their plan, and suddenly, like magic we've seen in Challengers, at least thus far, they've been able to gain these strings of rounds so heavily. And yes, it's only 2 so far, but the way Version 1 have been able to take that early game control of a site and really displace NSIC, I wouldn't be surprised if this continues.
It's always possible. On the other end, though, I'm looking at NSIC to be able to go back to more of their the strats that we know that they played for months and almost a year on end, considering how long SOAR's been together, going towards from their XOR, and now the flash on Big Bean. Although it's tucked into a corner, definitely hears the jumps and will go out the window. And there's 2 stacked up, but Big Bean gets 1. Oh, what a paranoia! And Sean with the setup, although they only clear out 2, it's more than enough. Version 1 fall, and is leaving Sarah left.
And what's Sarah to do? That spike in no man's land. Even if you get the spike and go garage, apathy's there. maybe B could be an option, but Odorous has it covered. You might be thinking, well, then Odorous is in B connector. Surely no one's on A, but hey, guess what? It's Odorous's util there too. Checkmate right now for this round, it seems. Sarah, 38 seconds left on the clock, has to think of the proper hole in the defenses now to penetrate, but it's easier said than done. Odorous, though, holding the connecting line for B main. Not for much longer, though.
Yeah. A incredibly difficult position that they were presented. A clever play from NSIC that I was talking about, right? I wanted to see some of the earliest strats that we know, and not exactly cheesy, but one that works out to ensure that they maintain the 1-round lead that they have had so far above version 1. But that's the kind of sort of camaraderie and experience that NSIC present, which will be the biggest challenges for version 1. As I was already mentioning, these guys know each other. They know how one another plays. They do it together all the time.
Absolutely.
And competing for so often is definitely what leans into what they're presenting going into challenges.
Early Nebula goes down on C main. That means there's no vision at all. It allows Empathy, though, from B A main to push up and maybe find an angle. Physic there with a little bit of reconnaissance to help out. Dark cover dissipates. Empathy's in a good angle here to maybe catch somebody off, but he's played this before. Caught up by the Prowler. Still gets caught out, though.
Final second, getting caught is tough, but now he has to make a decision as to whether or not he wants to stay, and putting up the actual smoke will at least allow him the cover to move all the way back to long. But this is the position that we've seen for version 1. Yeah, this split push that we've seen a couple rounds ago too. This worked out beautifully. But now, once again, they have to clear out everything. The paranoia is not enough. And Order still in the corner. Gets his one. Sean now moves in as well. It leaves him and Big Bean together once again. The duo that did everything last round are making sure to hold down. See sight up against the wall. They don't need any sound. Noise blocking headphones. Still doesn't mean you can't see.
Full rotate has been called to away from C, back over to B, and keep an eye on Noya 2, hiding away inside Garage in case there's the counter rotate, but Physics hiding behind sight, just waiting for that audio cue, someone to overheat and overextend.
And Physics is the first one to do it, but he's not overheating, he's ready to go. And with him looking over, Relax is checking. No, the final second! Doesn't seem like he might have ran away. And now it's just Noya, she gets tagged. She's gone once again. NSIC. What a hold.
6-4 right now. Already good for the half. Version 1, at best now, are looking to maybe bring this 6-6. They won an even game going to the second half. Keep in mind, too, this is maybe a prediction of what to come. Version 1 are going to be attacking every single map starting out for the entirety of the series. But I like this call. Going for the timeout here. NSIC, they're playing a little bit more differently than I think we've seen in other challengers matches, and I want to point a lot of this down to Empathy. I think Empathy, the way they've been able to play very aggressively early on towards the A lobby area with that operator has been so impactful on just straight up pressure. Now, that doesn't mean it's been converting into impact kills or anything along those lines, but the pressure in of itself of an op on the map has been enough for version 1 to maybe concede that early round going around towards maybe, say, B main or even maybe that delighted C that we've seen version 1 for multiple rounds try to take over, but it hasn't worked. And there's been a lot of ult utility being used inside of C as well, but very rarely have we seen it have any sort of impact that's positive for version 1's end.
Because on the other end, I believe we'll be able. We're taking to see just I was thinking about how the timeout that they just had. Because one notice based upon the point you're making about Empathy, I was also thinking about how Sean and Big Bean have done with one another, right?
Yeah.
With the flash, the paranoias, and smoke setups they had. Big Bean moving in close, Sean there for the backup.
It's just so much utility chemistry between these two teams that I really like. Now, this is an eco round for version 1, and going into that last round, I'm looking to see that lockdown, because that lockdown on A side was so impactful. But Odorous here might have a few problems.
Maybe.
Or not.
So, doing enough. Sarah just not able to take it, but that's when the swing there either. Like, the only thinking there's only one lurking. This might be it. Sean finds one. Floor went so deep. And once again, Sean and Bean I said it before and I'll say it again. The way these two have been playing right now has been immaculate. Lots unavailable. Only one more round left in the half. Noya might be able to get one, but not against the Flash. She can't.
It's been the same story over and over again. Early aggression coming out from NSIC, back into a bit of a quiet mid-game, and then late game they go for those retakes and they play aggressive once again. But hey, you know what? We talked about it. A main, maybe. Noya does have the lockdown. We saw how much impact it was to displace NSIC just a few rounds ago, but they're opting not to go for A. Noya's sticking around towards lobby, though. Do you think maybe this is a fake lockdown?
It's entirely possible.
It could be.
That they might look to at least just keep them locked towards A, but they would need to have shown pressure before this, and so far they're not doing so. So they're keeping a double look option open to see if it's possibly try to pinch them, but NSIC or anybody comes out, and no, they do pull away just about one rotation. We see the breach playing, acting as a floater, but considering nobody else entered the site, no one's on, so NSIC go back to almost where they were.
Yeah, they almost go back to their default. There's a lot more pressure towards C. But outside sewers, though. Oh, but look at this. There's that into the shadows, back towards C, maybe looking for some info. Sean's making me nervous outside of sewers. Empathy's there for the trade if that needs to be. But there's no setup for Noya's lockdown. In fact, there's no entry at all. 48 seconds left. It's up the floor. Checking every corner.
Them as floor gonna be able to get it. It's all the other sides. Empathy also there for trade. So only a second, and the second is all they need. Empathy takes one, two taken away. Sewers where they fall, all dirty and grimy.
30 seconds left.
Ugh.
I know.
And look at Odorous.
Odorous might be able to get actually another one here. Yep. Good for his. And that lockdown also popped to take away all those options. But the spike won't even see. It's not even gonna get taken out their pockets. Odorous says, yo, what you got there, homie? Swing that.
Man, I mean, NSIC, they've just had such a solid defense. And you mentioned it yourself, Rab, during the timeout. The chemistry that the team has been able to employ has been so amazing to see. And a lot of it came down to that early game prowess. They would find that early info, and then someone like Sean would go for the fault line, say off of an alarm bot, and then from there it would be a complete collapse against version 1. But maybe now things could turn around. This is version 1's chance to bring it back. They're down 4 rounds, they have their pistols out, and they're all stacked up towards C and B minus Sarah. They could be looking for an aggressive round here, but everyone from NSIC, they're postured up outside of mid and A site.
It is similar to the position that we saw version 1 have previously, but this definitely stinks of a much more defaulty. Instead, they'll triple move all the to C, and the turret there as well to give the info in case they do, in case anyone does peek out. The dart used early on to take away that turret, and with version 1 having the options to move into garage, they will likely move one person over past the next. Fake TP used. Just only a couple of seconds, but Odorous is taken out of the crossfire. They see Big Bean there. Uses smoke for a couple of seconds, but as soon as it drops, so does he. Rely in his own smoke. Down to 3v3.
And look at this, NSIC hinting towards the back at defender spawn, making a trip around the world from C back over to A, but no, they stop. They're doubling back, they cut audio. They're looking to retread old ground. And this is all when version 1's rotating back over towards A. No way.
They're just trading places.
30 seconds
No
left.
way.
NSIC gets a side for free. Version 1 thinking they would have just ran themselves over, but instead, now, as a 3-on-3, once again, they have a couple of options for taking this back. They only have 1 star, though, but they have most of the Fade util still, and that will be the biggest proponent in them finding info for where they are on site. And currently, you know, they're 1 right in front of the boxes, 1 towards the back like they had him on double, and 1 in the corner. So this hawk could be big for identifying almost all of them, but before that drops, they decided, yo, you can see where we are, but I also see you.
I mean, we talked about it right then. The call to rotate from C back over to A, then back to C again. Free sight, anticipating version 1 as a group would go for a full rotate was such a great play from what I can assume was only Odorous from the IGL. 9-4 now. Great early economy start from NSIC's end. In version 1, they're back towards pistols yet again. But this time, though, it's a stack up towards C. There's not a single piece of utility, no presence at all. There's nothing, Rav, outside of A site. What's this going to be? It's a slow tempo to start things off. Waiting yet again.
I bet that, right? We see version 1 have scaled back a lot of the aggression, and they've gone for the natural stacking plays, especially in the antes. Looking to set up and play off of one another.
Placing swarm grenade.
Spike's not even picked up by anybody yet. And B's being poked and prodded around. The flash blinding out the turret. Completely gone now. Alarm bot's being set up. And look at it, version 1. They're on the move. Soldiers in the platoon making their way out. Setting themselves up. A slaughter. Big Bean. Good for 3.
That's it. That's what you want to see. That's what set the record for Bowser's Big Bean Burrito. And that's how we did it. Just one more there. It's Alexis. What can she do? Unfortunately not. She clearly hasn't played Bowser's Big Bean Burrito.
Now you're making me hungry.
I'm sorry, man. I just had to.
It's okay. It's all good. All good. Oh, man. This round again. And version 1 will have to keep playing together still, and by now NSIC are playing into that. They're taking it full advantage. They read into that there's no presence on B. There was nothing on A that they could have anticipated. And instead, it's just a full-on trickle out from Garage. And now the full A push. We'll have to wait and see what this aggression looks like from Sarah and company. Haunt already prepped up and ready to go. Fault line return. Floor hiding away for the double contact. But the haunt spot's 3. A lot of early info that version 1 haven't really had the opportunity to have so far on their attack.
No, sir, because they've been so stacked up together, so they don't want to give away, what their position might be. Instead,
and they're hiding
now,
in sewers.
Lurking in the shadows, but finally it is time for them to come to the lights. Odorous though managed to get one shoot set away and just walks in and sprays Sarah. I think that's the one to get the next. Looking to try to get one more easy transfer on 2. He does this for breakfast, lunch, and even second lunch. Leaving Mel in a 1v4. How many more can she get? Dash away, but there's so many moving against her. She got no shot.
11-4 now. The slow push for NSIC worked out well onto the site, and version 1 even opted to hide away. But by now, it feels like almost every option version 1 have at least tried for their defense hasn't worked out well. A long string of losses yet again. Version 1, this has happened to them quite a bit when they haven't 13-0 teams inside of challengers, but usually at this point, they would find a way to counter-strat it out, but the tack timeout already came by, and it didn't really bring out many results on the other half. And we've yet to see it in this half either. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out, though. Bit more of a defaulty play from NSIC here. Playing off each other, holding for the angles. But again, version 1, they're playing slow. They're looking to maybe make util the primary focus here, especially outside that BA connector. Noders is going to make that slow crawl upwards. Take the risk. Floor's hiding behind that metal box, ready to strike. But again, it's just been complete silence. No one's making a move. It's a cold war, but finally the nanoswarm comes down, and there's the exec. Slow but sure.
Version 1 also doesn't have its options, right? Because if you even look at their buys, not something they can do, which is why they know they have to play pretty much close contact. But all the other guys, speaking of contact, NSIC will just 4-man contact push in, right? It's just crawl.
Rav, all that utility was used on B and nothing happened. They were trying to fake it over towards A, buying up time for space over. There's that turret too. Exactly, and Noy is playing the double contact off of the turret. Empathy goes for the dash in. Great execute.
One more foul perhaps, but no. Alexa will be the first one to get it. Disgusting as always. But cannot recover a gun from there either. But since they know all the util is gone from B, so they can really move themselves back, which is also why they split apart as 2, expanding their options, creating their horizons, broadening their minds.
But look at this retake potential. 2 groups of 2, 1 with an extra for version 1, a full group of 5v4. They're looking to reclaim the site. The alarm bot goes down on top of the nano swarm. All that extra util.
Oh, it was slow with the concuss as well. Nowhere to get away. Odorous looking to take 3, but Sarah brings it back, and it's now a 1v1. Version 1 need this round, but up against the Hunter's Fury, you are the hunted, and you're giving away that beautiful scent that lets them know that you are prey.
Oh no, 12-4. Version 1, they have the setups there, but NSIC, they've been able to just completely trick Version 1 multiple times. Doesn't matter if they're on the attack or the defense. They've just been able to treat them like marionette dolls. They're controlling the rotates of Version 1. And now 12-4. I'm not much of a math man, but if you're in Version 1's shoes, you have to multiply the rounds by 3 to match up for overtime. And right now, NSIC, they're playing it so well to ensure these rotates are just not in Version 1's favor. We'll have to wait and see how this ends yet again. Spike in the hands of Empathy. Looking to maybe be a faster exec this time around, and yes, it most certainly is.
The nade once again just used a bit early on, too naturally so, but just need to be set up for the kind of move that they had previously. They have entered in as to want to be, and now Spike goes down. They commit the swing. Sarah with 1. She desperately needed that to allow this to happen on Nightfall. And for their face, only managed to tag 1 though, as the rest of NSIC are on the outside, the wall put up. Version 1's how they wait their way in, but Mel taken out. This is not what you wanted to see. And Empathy, not hearing nothing, having no options, down from 10 to 0, and they're just gonna defuse your king. That's that.
No, it's half.
They're paying away, but they're not able to do it. Big B makes it in. It's 3v3. NSIC are desperately, but they're not locked in. Oh, it's almost all of them.
2v2.
It's not they can get away. They're all detained. Big Bean in 1. But now it's Floor. 1v1 again. They have no time. And that is it. NSIC get game 1 against V1.
I'm thoroughly starting off on the attack. They have to make these rounds count.
They do not want to go down to like this.
Absolutely not.
With the display we've had, this V1 squad, combining some of the best free agents that they have currently in GCC, and then now on XOR, a team that has never really had the chance to, never really had the spotlight on them across all of Tier 2 over the past year. So now here, they have an option. They have a chance to be able to do it. And challenge is the way to go. But you got to get through here first. Naturally, we do, of course, have LCQ next week. And this whole bracket, of course, does have a loser side. So this is not it, right, for either side. And I won't call it as that. But what I do want to do to get away from all that, though, is to focus in. We zone in on V1 right now.
I am so zoned in, it hurts.
That you should step away. My mom always said, you cannot watch the TV screen right in front of it. That's bad for my eyes.
You're telling me
it's a good thing I'm wearing glasses.
You're telling me my nose can't be up to the monitor? Ah, dang. My whole casting strat's gone. Hold on, let me back up. Okay. So then again, keep in mind the double controllers coming out. That'll be great to shut down a lot of this attack that Version 1 could try to employ, but Empathy employing a lot more than just line of sight denial, complete life denial as Floor goes down immediately at the start of this game.
Disgusting pixel angle. And take this in, Max. He has not moved. He has not actually just been removed from the angle. He decided, yo, that's crazy. You think I'm gonna walk away because I got 1? No, challenge me. It shall be your fight till one of us falls.
Challenge them and challengers.
Haha. But no one's falling right now. Instead, they fall off the site and take their efforts to be.
And look at how much space the NSIC is giving up for Version 1. It's only Big Bean hiding away in the shadows towards Snowman. And Version 1, they opt not to go B. The recon boat goes down and nothing was found, but the wall goes down and Noya's there for revenge.
Nice shot. And hey, we were expecting that considering she knew exactly where to peek, but the second one she likely was not expecting. Because Sean also holding strong gave no instance of anybody else being there. But instead, for him to take at least 1 more. And Alexis Needs at least a couple of seconds. The shot dart lands before the wall goes up. She was just low enough.
NSIC barely even needing to rotate. Only lose 2 bodies in the pistol round, version 1. Unfortunately, again, they never even got onto a site. They got shut down so quick. And they over-engineered their B-side play. We had seen the recon bolt went down. Rav, B-side was empty outside of Snowman. But it's okay.
Yeah,
It happens.
I mean, assumably you're thinking, you know, it's all good. You know, there might not necessarily be anybody there, but hey, it's okay. It's just a pistol. At version 1 decide not to buy up this time. They'll take the attack once again towards A to start things off. But currently, it won't be as split. They'll still move themselves in. They'll still move themselves in, you know, one after next after next.
Viper wall dividing out the back re-entry for NSIC. It's physics. Hiding down below. There we go. Good for 1, but the trade is there. 3v3.
Should we get one more? Now we'll see Sean once again. Hiding, moving the corner, spray through the smoke. And taking out 3. This is another good start for NSIC.
But it was also a pistol. It was a, you know, a thrifty pistol round for version 1. They didn't have their full buy weapons, but now they have rifles. Sure, albeit it is light shield rifles, and it is the bonus buy for NSIC, but given that their team has barely had to escape a site at all, they're just holding angles and waiting for version 1's slow entry to a site. And you know what we haven't really seen so far, Rav? We haven't really seen those fast, aggressive pushes onto a site. And that's been a consistent factor for version 1 in challengers. Despite, you know, 4 usually playing that Neon or that Raze pick. Here as Arena, did top frag last time around in that previous series, but haven't really been able to be in a position to really take these gunfights.
No options at all, right? Because of the plays that V1 has been making. Well, I would say it's more so the plays NSIC has been making. It shuts down all the efforts that V1 have made to gain space, or even try to you know, find anything of value.
Oh, look at Epathy's angle though. Hidden away. Owldron might not spot, especially with the Viper distraction. Epathy's hidden.
But for how much longer, right? Considering the Owldron only manages to find 1. And this is a spot that's decently common for Jets as well. Now, they won't necessarily know that who was on A previously, but if they're not being set up, it's more than enough. Oh! Right, at least gets hers, but so it leaves them in a 4v4.
Hiding behind yellow. State Bite goes down. Only 1 versus the world. Big Bean!
Big Bean, though. Only with 1 once again, so just between these trades. And trades right now that seem to actually favor NSIC. Usually it's attackers that are more than okay with it. And Odorous peeks out the patience that NSIC has seen, and somehow the timing is almost completely in their favor. But if anybody can do it's Floor, but no, with just spike in her hand, she needs to be able to plan, and they have the mollies. They're delaying one after the next. It's 3.5 seconds, and there were 4 left.
A lot of eco damage for NSIC's end, but they get to pick up 2 different rifles. Those are Vandals that now the defense does not need to buy up into this next round, and maybe that's why we get to see Empathy on round 4 promoted to Operator Town. And if Empathy plays that God spot again, that could be a huge shutdown. But we're back down to pistols once again for version 1. There is a Guardian and a Bulldog, so not all is lost. But this has been rough. That was the bonus buy that NSIC should have lost.
It's tough, yeah.
It is.
Because, you know, honestly, I'm not even gonna try to say no.
Empathy moment.
Empathy moment. Yeah, this is just nasty. Same play that we saw in round 1, but instead this time, you know, just peeks it over the belt, drops again, and Sean's in the exact same corner as well. If they're anticipating this, then they'll give take or likely wait for what they can do. Try to move in. Oh, and it was looking to be likely off the floor's lair, but whoo, running swing Melwood too. That's the kind of confidence I want to see out of E1.
Operator's now lost.
Look at mid. Yeah, Big B's already made his way in. He's so far. And you can just watch his cross. Should at least be good for 1. Oh, let's tuck back in. That might be it. Gives me the space, okay? V1 is still alive in this.
And nobody on NSIC rotate out. Version 1, they're walking back into a double contact. Odorous and Physic ready, hidden in these deep corners. 2 left alive, trying to play for trades, and even then, Big Bean still holding down for B.
30 seconds
They
left.
know they haven't rotated.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, he doesn't go away. They walk right into him. And it was Sean holding that angle before, but with him being taken out by Mel, Fizzy decides, "You don't worry, my brother. I know where you fall, I shall stand." Stand he does. He holds his ground. A 4-0 start. And as I see something that, honestly, for me, was unexpected considering how good V1 have done on Icebox.
Yeah, big shutdown. 8-2, Sean has been, we've been seeing the flashy plays from Empathy, but Sean's been there for that secondary contact, that huge trade potential. And there's only Util on A side for a retake. Everyone else for the defense hiding out towards mid, just waiting to see if it was a big rush up. But the answer is no. It's only Mel holding it down to wait to see if anyone pushes up for the flank. Instead, double contact yet again. Look at the transverse. No recon bolt, no utility. Just straight eyes-to-eyes contact, looking for anyone back sight. And Ndoya so close to peeking out against Odorous.
Should know. Use the molly to separate the possible push, and but how far they made it, this covers almost the entire side and then some. And then they have nothing to be able to actually try to stop this. Actually, no. I was gonna say, they decide and elect not to use Hunter's Fury to stop the lockdown, and they let them get the plant down. So NSIC are confident to retake. Watch floor though. Watch floor.
Yeah, look at this potential flank. Really late game, playing off timings here.
Ooh. Speaking of timings, that's their actually getting time. In fact, just tap it. Alexis moves in. There's one below and one at the side. They're just gonna hold it though. They're gonna make it in time. Floor, the final shot. Oh, they just defuse. They just get it.
5-0. I don't know how NSIC does it. It's just like magic in the mid game. It's like poof, a magic smoke goes around and suddenly everyone disappears. The movement and the positioning has been phenomenal. And let's look at this again. Great half of the defuse. Floor's the last one alive. 1v2 sandwiched between on 410. Immediately, thanks to that cloudburst, Floor can't find the proper angle. Defuse is called. I would love to hear what the comms sound like for NSIC because they have to be so clean. 10-3, 2 for Sean.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Gorgeous plays. Great Viper wall.
There's the Hunter's Fury from last round as well that we were waiting on. Thinking they might have pushed up all the way to B, but instead it'll be slowdown tactic if anything. So, couple of seconds just is all that's given away realistically.
Yeah, and Big Bean.
But they haven't been able to actually make space here, Keg.
That's true.
They're still so far, and once again in the same position where they have to find ways to move in.
And this is where we see that double controller come out. One way for the Viper Orb, then the Sky Smoke. Big Bean forced to hide.
Hiding no longer, but still getting one out of the engagement is definitely good enough. But now through here, the res as well, and alongside that entire Viper's pit that they got, which looks like Texas.
Yeah, it most certainly does. Let's see if Sandy's around here anywhere. Floor,
Nice.
good for one at least. Sarah, though, backs out. It's up to the Floor show now. Viper's pit in tow. No visibility for NSIC to push into the site, but the spike hasn't gone down yet either.
And the thing with the new Viper's pit as well is that you pretty much have to
30
stay in that
seconds left.
for as long as possible because the integrity of it disappears
different now.
within about 5 seconds. Before Angela can do that,
She dissipates.
It dissipates. Not 1 second you see it, the second you don't. It's the worst kind of magic because you die at the end. And I don't know about you, but magic is deadly, but not like this.
This
81.
round has been so expensive too, but Physic in a 1v3 has that recon bolt.
Right here.
Might be able to find some sort of impact off of info. They would have to take down the Viper, tap the spike.
Oh, but there's so many there. A spray would be needed. And Floor the Magician cleans it up, giving we won in their first round.
I really hope we have a replay of that dissipate coming out from her Empress, because that was frame perfect. She was already in a really bad position in that Viper's pit. She goes for the strafe, finds one, literally, again, frame perfect, ejects out of the situation, and is able to get away scot-free. But look at NSIC now. 3 different ultimates to work with, and before we get to that, there's the replay. Frame perfect yet again. Odorous is like, well, where'd she go? Hello? I don't know. But now we have Viper's Pit probably to dodge out on A site. This orbital strike is something we have to worry about, though. As soon as that spike might go into the ground, especially with that owl drone pressuring B site, very well could find a lot of devastating impact. Lenores is set up too. It's a minefield inside of B main. Not a single safe place to go.
But the thing is, if you an expert Minesweeper, all you got to do is to put out a couple of darts. And this makes Minesweeper that much harder when suddenly there's a giant fire pit that you have to try to get away. And they do so. Pretty once, they're okay, a big round for them there. Luckily they're able to stop the bleeding, but they cannot in the same space they did on B side this time. Because even right now, they're still moving in as 5. This 5% contact push is okay, right? They have a couple of seconds at least to work with. 40 seconds, and now here's Viper's Pit to counter at least. Whatever they could do, it's pretty far up as well. So any sort of entrance will need to be blocked. A nice layer to force with a big bean. So they can't make any contact, but look how low they are. Look as they're entering and exiting outside of Viper's Jello. Spike goes down 3v4.
Okay, blocked off. There's the Molly. Good for Epitheme, might be good for the strike. Almost found that ponytail. 3v4. Body advantage for NSIC. Not so much anymore, though.
Holding close, timinged on floor. It's still 2 left. With the rail on the outside. Likely don't want it to be just stuck like last time, but no need for the fights when you win your 1v1s.
The call for that late game Viper's Pit was so smart. They read version 1 like a book. We already seen Odors put down all that KJ util outside of B main. Orbital strike on top right. That was a protocol strat. They were ready for it. And then the call that version 1 would likely rotate afterwards in the end game. Then Viper's Pit goes down. NSIC are reading version 1, like I just said, like a book. And version 1, how did they get out of their own heads? What are you gonna do? They haven't gone mid just yet. No spike in the possession of V1 either. They're just gonna look for raw gunfights here. They're looking for blood. But that alarm bot could give everything away. They've cut noise. Odorous checking the wrong angle right now. A tactical operation inside the kitchen. Not to get snacks this time, no, instead not. Take down Odorous!
Oh, it's just enough for giving just enough seconds to move out. And that's a free gun right there, ladies and gentlemen. $0 for the price of your opponent's heads.
Right here.
Leaving them all in the dust to try to recover. Oh yeah, last one left's alive again. She got Guardian. But there's no gaming going on right now.
Everywhere you go, there's contact. Everywhere. Version 1. They had the sneaky snake play. They moved all the way up towards kitchen. But Odorous again. Just like we had seen on Haven, a good 1v3. Perfect strafes. No tradability from V1. A classic right click to boot. Nephews is going to call the timeout here. 1-7. Is this where we go, Coach Keg? Coach Rav?
Well, here, I'll tell you what.
Okay, but I'm ready.
From what I see currently out of V1 side, I coming into this was pretty confident in them in terms of the map. But the attacking side on Icebox is, notoriously much harder to be able to sustain, right? The biggest thing that we're looking for, usually on Icebox, is just ways to get on site. But with how linear of a map it is, mid isn't ever really a factor. And you just have to find ways that you are able to move in one corner after the next, Version 1's been doing a lot of just 4-person contact plays. And as of right now, they've been getting contacted first.
And this is an important round for V1 too. Look at that money. 3 light shields, very little. It looks like my bank account. There's so little economy left for them. And if they all go down, and At worst, a flawless round for NSIC. That means they'll have to go for yet another thrifty round. But I think you're right. Rav, version 1 have been struggling to get on site, but that's not an icebox issue. It's been a version 1 issue. They struggled on Haven as well.
Look
The
at
double
this,
swing.
Ooh, double swing almost allowed there as well. But managed to make it out of tube and separated to move in the corner. And that's 2 tags as well. Look how low as well. Now, version 1 was looking to be, but doing okay. A clutch heal from Alexis.
Yeah. Look at Noya on this late lurk. Could very well be the entry to a maybe late game A plan. We could see the spike slowly transversing its way back from B to A. We've seen this play before, and Odorous always sticking around those corners. Should have been the identification of when the utility comes out. Will be a big factor. That nano swarm on top of the turret. It's ready and prepped. But Odorous, here's that recon bolt, makes its way back. Keep an eye on Odorous' location. Great opportunity for a lockdown.
Ooh. A lockdown might not necessarily be necessary here.
It might not be.
Yeah, because we're thinking that there might be, perhaps a late flank coming from mid. Done it before, but this time they have no real options. They continue to stick together. Odorous going away is big. Nice shot from stairs, so no lockdown to actually play with. And now NSIC finally in an even position on the retake, but the flank might actually work out. Although turn not necessarily there, but the spot head first. Oh, just a little bit off on Alexis. Sean wins both. It's not.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? It is 20 Tuesday, so I guess she does get both, huh?
Good lord. 8-1 now. And you're right about the ultimates, right? Because even if Odorous had gone for that lockdown, there would have been Sarah's Hunter's Fury to maybe not necessarily destroy it, but at least do a lot of damage against it that could be accompanied by other utility. But at that point, it's neither here nor there. Double lockdown potential for both NSIC and version 1. There is the Hunter's Fury to tow. And when we've seen this large gathering of economy, even if it is positioned outside of A for their team, version 1, they have often just ultimate dump on B site. So I'm wondering if they're going to change things up here and try to go for A. Maybe an early lockdown take. It's easier said than done, though, especially now that Odorous prepped up outside of Kitchen. There won't be any utility to have that stopping power against V1. It's a matter of getting that timing right. Physic's already banning out that orb, and Empathy's there up above. The bait's not being taken, though. Hook, line, and no sinker.
Watch this for a second, though.
I'm ready.
I was gonna say, if we let the round breathe for just 4 more, they now are forced in a position where they'll still be in the same place, but the Empress is there, and they have to carefully check every single corner alongside the Owl drone. But with how much pressure NSIC is putting up, they're already pretty much 3 stacked up. That's not to defend against 5. The Yacht doing a ton, and they're holding a lot more of these upper angles. So that elevation on its own does enough. Sean gets 1 more. Fizzinov moves in and is up in nest. Empress thwarted. Floor, poof, disappeared.
Yeah, the ultimate now gone. We had seen how much impact Floor was able to find off of that Empress, but again, it's been a quiet game for V1. 7-10 for Floor. Still all those ultimates to possibly work with here. And as we get closer and closer to the end of the half, there's only 2 rounds. And so many impactful ultimates that have yet to be used. But now the time has gone by, Rav. Sure, you had the Hunter's Fury and the lockdown, but Orbital Strike? It's not even the same setup that we had seen last time that Sean was able to find impact. That was outside of B main. They're prepped up for something different. And at NSIC, they've gone for different strategies, different placements of their people every single round. But Empathy does miss that opening shot.
Speaking of opening shots, that's one that we expect and are pleasantly seeing that Floor does get every time. Okay, on that. And the late will Sage slow orbed to ensure that the back of the side is covered, and so it allows the rest of version 1 to move in. But with how many they've already lost, though, they're now in a 3v2. Hunter's Fury and lockdown also available. And they do not want to put it to a 9 to a 10-2 half potentially. That isn't too bad, but Big B moving in, control the shots. And it's as though it's a laser pointer and the rest of them are cats. They just can't get away.
It's deja vu. It's the same retakes, I feel like, it's just slightly different every round. And we could talk about the ultimate utility, we could talk about the big picture plays all the time, but NSIC, I think when it boils down to it, we're just seeing really well-structured placements of the people of their team. Really good agent placements. They're able to play off of each other, they have their trades, they have everything that version 1 has, but they're able to convert those gunfights just a tiny bit more. But let's see how this B-take goes. Final round of the half, 10-1 version 1, hoping to make this 10-2. There we go, early owl drone.
To make it 10-2.
You have to. That pistol round's gonna be devastating into the next half no matter what happens. It'll at least alleviate that damage a little bit more if it's 10-2. Good early one-way from Big Bean, relegates the site a little bit more. Empathy's up above though. This angle.
As well, they're coming in so that at least allows it to move into yellow, but that's about all the space can actually take. It's just small bits of shallow control, but finding their way up into nest and possibly crawling their way just right in front of Snowman is where the rest of version 1 need to be. But they've seen that, you know, just past the wall, they can't move in. The stage wall gets destroyed so quickly.
Yeah,
that
that's safety
all the
wall
options
for the plan.
are kind of just left null. And now as the wall goes up, they can now look to move in, but at what cost? Hunter's Fury is also out there. Guys, adds a couple more seconds, and the late lurk
Spike down.
from mid does not unfortunately work out, leaving it to 3v3.
No, Sean recovered control of mid. Noya now forced to join the rest of the team. The recon bow blocking out Empathy. The arm shot away from Sarah. A 3v3 now off the res. It's not too late for that B-take. Hey, oh, maybe not so much. Sean goes for the spray. Odorous with it up. The upping KJ. No shot. 11-1.
It's
and
so,
Rap, we talked about
so
it.
good, man.
It is so good. I mean, I feel really bad. It's like, how much more of your analysis can be like, than our analysis can be then, you know, it's really good. But it's true. This has been so good from NSIC. But there is a problem, though. Version 1 have to win this pistol round. If they don't win this pistol round, at best, at the very best, they can force up Stingers. 12-1, already down a map. And they've had an incredible comeback after the ferocious battle they had off stream yesterday. So close. Well, in top 32. But a big battle to make it to the top 4, qualifying for challengers. They need at least 10 more rounds in a row.
And it has to start here. Let's look at where they're at. One by the other? I was gonna say, NSIC, they had to take almost 3 different individual gunfights, but heavily in their favor. Wow.
Retake on a 3v5. Empathy has their great angle here, hiding away. Sean's gonna make first contact, and Empathy swings.
At least one given over, but now version 1 making it 2v2. Time is ticking on the spike. Look at where they're at as well. They're moving in from Big Bean. Oh my god!
Good lord. 12-1. Match point. Series point between NSIC and version 1. Only a single round on the board, and we talked about how version 1, their forte, their bread and butter has been that we've seen games where they lose a massive amount of rounds and then suddenly they counter-strap back and take the retake. But we haven't seen that this game, and frankly, we haven't seen it this series. Very little rounds gained on Haven, only a single round on Icebox. Not a single member of this game above 10 kills.
Oh, look, they're looking to hold much more forward. The lyric just doesn't come out in time. As the space that they probably thought they had is taken away, one after the next. It's so trade heavy. But once again, NSIC loves trading. You can see they're giving up a pot of greed for a blue eyes. And to trade you never want to take. The blue eyes is rare, the blue eyes is necessary. And Kaiba wins again. Goodbye, Yugi. Version 1. Go down 2-0. NSIC, though. Oh my god, what a showing.
NSIC is dominant. absolutely dominant. There was not a single round that we had seen through the last 2 maps where you could say NSIC didn't have the plot. They had the entire script read and annotated. They had it completely solved. There, again, not a single round where it felt like they would fall apart. Their defensive placement, more than anything else, was so impressive to me. I really, really loved how they would just play off of each other, the trades, the utility. Fundamentally, that's what you're looking for in Challengers Plus.
This is it, Max. Yeah, that is exactly what we want to be able to see. But although it was a bit more one-sided than expected, I know this V1 squad, a lot of people had high hopes for, and I still do, right? This is not it for them, but for never saw it coming, I'm sure many were exactly that. They did not see that coming at all. Phenomenal shots and just dominance across the board from one to the next. But as we currently see it, though, we got a lot more game to play. We have one more best of 3 to round out the day as well. So before we head to a break, though, Max, are the people that we got to thank?
Ooh, I think there's a few people I got to thank. I want to thank my room. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to thank my room. I want to thank everything inside of it, because you can't win the game without the gear. So get exactly what you need off of eBay. All up to 50% off. Brand new gaming tech from brands like Microsoft, Sony, Razer, and more, plus free shipping and returns. So if you want to be like me and get pretty much everything from eBay, you should go to pks.gg/eBay to make your room look, well, albeit probably a lot cooler than mine. But you're right, Rav. We have a lot more amazing games to go through. So why don't we go to a small break and get things set up so we have those amazing games come by?
Sound